Mason Aim. This is Miss Cruz again, and today I'm gonna hook up, I'll plug in my phone and try to get these wires out of the way, because I'm going to, I have a little tripod thingy that I'm gonna have set up and see if it works. I can film this stuff, gardening things, and hopefully you'll be able to follow along. Okay, so going for last week, some of the things that I said we were going to do was cut off some of the dead leaves from this one plant, and we're going to repot it. So it might just pull right off, or maybe, well, there it is, one little piece. Yep, it just pulled right off. So still I'm going to clip. I'm going to clip this root here. Okay, and then I had another one, this one that's just kind of sticking out. I'm going to go ahead and cut that one off too, because it might be draining nutrients from the leaves that are trying to grow. Toss that aside. Okay. Now another thing that we had talked about is this onion that we're going to try to grow in a jar. And really kind of disappointed with it because it hasn't really started to grow how it did on the video. So I'm thinking what we'll do, and I'm going to put on a different pair of gloves because the ones that I had selected seem a little too large. So I'm going to go ahead and put these on. I'll tell you one thing, I'm so happy that I bought gloves just before all this pandemic stuff started. So I actually have one box of gloves at home that I'm so grateful to have. Okay, so here we go. I'm gonna go ahead and spoon that onion out of here, out of this jar, and see what happened. To me, it looks pretty sad looking. You can see, I'll get a little bit closer. You can see like it's kind of dingy and brown, and it doesn't really have a shoot coming out of it, so I'm thinking it didn't really root properly. And yep, I'm right about that, because it just doesn't have the look that it did when on the video that I saw. See how there's really no roots growing out of there? There should be some little white, long white roots starting to grow. So bottom line is, that's an epic fail. So we're going to go ahead and toss this one. And you know, it even kind of smells pretty funky, so I'm glad to get rid of it. And instead, I'm going to go ahead and try two more different ones, just to make sure. So here's one jar, and I'll get another jar. And I'll take this ring off. And then we can compare. That was a white onion, the first one, that didn't grow properly. So I'm thinking, let's use a red onion this time and compare it with the white onion. So where did I, oh, here it is. Here's another white onion. And if you remember, we had to take off this layer here of onion peel. And so we'll do that. And cool thing, they just float. So let's try to, well, that's not going to work because there's too much water, so I have to dump a little. So I'm going to dump it with a spoon because just a few tablespoons out of here so I don't spill this water when I let the onion float. Don't want it to overspill onto the counter. Okay, let's try it. If it's touching, it has to touch. Yes, and it is. So this one, this time it's not totally completely floating in the water. I'm going to lift it so you can see. There's some space, but the water is covering the bottom of that onion. So I'm going to try it. This time it's not just completely floating inside. And maybe that makes a difference. I don't know. One thing I noticed too, that there's like little bubbles, oxygen bubbles, and I'm assuming that they are escaping or they're gonna evaporate. I don't know exactly what that process is scientifically, but maybe one of you 6th graders might know, or maybe any age. I shouldn't restrict it to only older children. If you do know, maybe you can give us an answer on that one. There's a space below that, below this video, that will allow you to answer a question or ask a question. If you have a question about gardening, you know, we could maybe come up with an answer. Most of what I do right now is just looking and exploring on the internet. So now let's take a purple onion. And so we're going to compare the white onion to the purple onion. So let me get a knife. And we're just going to cut off the end piece. Can you see, guys, what we're going to do? Going to cut off the end piece. And of course, if you're going to be cutting, students, please do that in the company of your parent or your guardian or some adult that is watching you. If you choose to experiment with planting or rooting things like we're doing today, always ask for adult supervision, please. Okay, so now again I'm removing the peel, and there's a couple of, see the little brown roots that are on there? They're dead, but this time instead of pulling them out like I did the last time, I think I'm just going to snip them off. And oh, here, there's more peeling on this one. There's just a little piece left here. Let's see. Hope you guys are able to see all this, you know. I'm not an expert at this filming stuff. I've been actually researching quite a bit on the internet to see, and maybe by next week I'll actually be able to upload a YouTube video, which I'm hoping that works, my idea for that. Okay, so here it is. I'm going to go ahead and plop that one in, and again check, and yep, it's underwater. Here's the purple one. It's underwater. So we're going to compare this. And on this time I'm going to keep a record. You know, back in the old days when I was in school, we used to have to have a data entry book, which is really a composition book, like the kind that you see nowadays. And we would have to put our science experiments in that book and keep a daily log. And I am going to do that with this. So one thing though I would like you to know, and I'm going to go ahead and put this up, because sometimes since I'm really not an expert at filming all this stuff, but I'm going to go ahead and just lift this information to you. This is one of the places where I found information on the internet. It was so, this guy is super interesting. His name is Jag Singh. He's from Daisy Creek Farms, and he has how to grow a ton of onions, and then another one is regrow 14 store-bought vegetables. It's so interesting. So I'm going to go ahead and and put that there. And then I'm also going to turn it because I'm not sure if filming this means you are actually going to see this right side up or upside down. But there's the information for the Daisy Creek Farms. And then there's another one. And this guy, his name is Jeff, and he's on South Vancouver Island, and he has a site that's called the Ripe Tomato Farm, and he has one on regrow onions from another onion. So this is really an interesting site. He got some awesome stuff on there. So I'll put it in that direction, and then I'll move it so you can see. And this is on YouTube, okay, guys? Pretty interesting stuff. I actually have been following and looking at several different sites, and some are related to the COVID-19 pandemic, and pretty interesting stuff, okay, on how to conserve, how to grow food, and it's just some interesting things that you might want to see. And you'll see so many sites. Of course, I know you know that. This generation of yours, you guys are pretty aware of things that are available for you. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and let's move these onions out of the way, and we're going to go ahead and pot this other plant. Okay, so let me just move these aside for a moment. And let's bring out a larger pot. So here's a pot. It even has my name on it because, you know, nowadays you just can't walk into the nursery anymore. And they put all this stuff curbside here in where I live. So I ordered it online, and then you have to go in and pick it up. So I am going to use this larger pot. And in this little can right here, I have a bunch of stones. So we need to put some of these stones at the bottom of the pot. It has a hole in it. See the hole? So I'm gonna pour some of these out. And they're just stones I got from the Dollar Tree store a while back, quite a while back actually. I tried to grow some herbs a couple of years ago, to tell you the truth, and it did not work for me. So this time I did take time to look things up more carefully on the internet. So now I'm going to put some of those stones at the bottom, and that's just to keep the dirt from, or the soil from just falling all the way through, coming out through the hole when we water. So, and for soil drainage, and I hope this works because I really don't have anything fancy. What I am pulling out is like these square ones, because I decided I'm going to gather some of the square ones so that kind of like for one of those little stress gardens that you can put on a desk and play around with them while you're looking for things or just trying to relax. I also have pulled out several of these that are just real rocks, little stones, different sizes. And I don't know if you've ever seen, you can make stone mosaics. You know, you can make them into animal shapes, names, and just whatever shapes you have in different sizes and colors in your garden or just outside to play. So there's that. Okay, so here we are. So now I'm going to get the bag of potting soil, and let's open it up. Oh, well, I'll cut it open. It's one of those resealables. Okay, so here it is. And, well, it's a little dusty, so I'm going to put my sleeves up a little. And let's go ahead and just take it out by the handfuls. So bring it down to the pot and drop it in. So I know there's a suggestion that I saw, and this is years ago, not from the YouTube stuff that I've been looking up, but just some general information from years ago that I used to do when I tried to grow things. And that was to soak the pots overnight, which I didn't do, but I'm gonna go ahead and let a little bit of water into this pot, just because that's what I remember doing from years ago. So let's see here. So I'm kind of wetting. I don't know if you can see this, because this plant's probably in the way. There we go. And I'm just going to go around the pot a little, just turning it around and around. So we'll get the pot wet as well as the soil that's in there. So far looks okay because there's no soil coming out, just the water's draining out, so that's good. That's a good sign. So I have these little dishes to put underneath so it doesn't completely wet the counter, but they didn't have the matching color or size to this pot, but that one should work. So now I'm going to go ahead and pull this one out. And this is called a caladium. And it needs sun every day. I'm thinking of putting it outdoors, but not quite sure yet what I will do. Where would be a good spot for it in here? I have it by a kitchen window, but I don't know if that's going to work. So I'm trying to just loosen up the root ball here, and I'm going to go ahead and turn it over so you get to see this with me if this works. Okay, I hope it does. Let it out of here. Yay, it came out, and it looks pretty healthy. So I'm going to go ahead and plop it right in here. Well, I might have put too much soil in here. I'm going to grab a handful out. I can always just put it back in. Put it around the side instead. I have another little pot in the sink. I'm going to just put some of that dirt in there because it seems like this root ball needs more space than I thought. There we go. Well, this is the size they gave me, okay, for this plant. So far, I don't know, but it seems like it's not going to fit in there. But I will remove more soil and then add some around the root ball. Look better. Well, maybe I put too many stones in there. How about taking some of them out? Okay. Yeah, I might have put too many stones. There. I think that's going to do it. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and put these back. Go ahead and grab some soil. And closer now. Try to smush it in around. I think it's going to be okay. Yeah, you'll see I also have those herbs that I talked about before, and actually I'm going to try to grow those somewhere. Well, I have a couple little pots that they suggested, but I'm also going to try to grow some in my, I have a little glass planter here, right here. I'm going to try to grow some in there. So far this, hey, it seems like this is really working. I'm happy about that. Yeah. Well, I hope everything's going well with everybody. Miss everybody, and I was really thinking about the 6th graders this week and how, we're not going to be able to see them for their graduation festivities, which usually we see the 6th graders buzzing around, and we get to see them their last day of school, and they get to dress up and just all kinds of stuff. We're really going to miss all that, but we are thinking about you guys, all of you, and we're thinking that you know, usually the last time we see the 6th graders is right around, you know, the end of school. And so just hope everything's going well for everybody. I know everybody has different needs right now and different things are going on, but we're thinking about you guys all the time. And also, I don't know if I mentioned it the last time, but Miss Kara has a daily story time. If you go to straydogtheater.com, and then on the left hand side there's a list, and Arts in Mind is one of them, one of those buttons or tabs, and if you press on that, it will take you to Stray Dog Theater, which is Arts in Mind Online, which is our site for Mason, and it applies to our other sites as well, but of course those of you at Mason would know who I am and what we post there. Different things are getting posted every week, so if you check back on there, and if you have questions, you know, let us know or make comments. It helps our program out. So okay, so there's one. I am very happy with that, and I will just add a little more water to dampen the rest of it now. I think I'm just going to do that with my hand. I'm not going to, just don't want it to all float away, the water at the top. But I want it to get moistened so that it doesn't just crumble out. Let's see. Okay. Wipe that down later. Okay, so there we go. Success on this one. So now I'll put this one aside. I'm going to set that right into the sink for now. And let's start on something else. Okay, so now this is a glass container. Well, I'm going to put this back with the caladium. Just little instructions on how to care for it. Okay, so now here we go. I'm going to kind of just not totally clean it up all the way because we're not done here. I'm going to grab a paper towel. Hang on. Okay. Here we go. Somehow it just seems a little too messy. So just go ahead and get that out of the way. Okay, now this container, this planter, I have had it for a long time, okay? Like we're talking years here. And what I'm going to try to do in 2 spots, I am going to add these, I'm saving of course the little cube because for that fidgety activity that I want. Okay, and I'll do it on the 2 ends. Oh, there's a star. That's cool. I'm gonna put that. See the little star? I'm gonna put that with the squares. That'll be fun, interesting to work with. Here's another cube and a square. Not quite a cube. It is a square shape. And there we go. So I'm going to kind of put the red towards the front because in that way you can see there it's colorful. Doing it this way. Okay. Just glue on that one. Okay, so now let's load it up with some dirt. Some soil, I should say potting soil it's called. This one's called potting mix. So here we go. The 2 ends, which I can already see, guys, that it's probably going to be too high. So, like it was the last time, I'm remembering, I just did that in that one pot, so maybe I'll take a few of these out and put them in the middle. Now, at the garden shop, they said that sometimes when you plant it this way, it doesn't have enough drainage. But since it's glass and I can see through, I'm going to be very careful about not overwatering and see if it works. Okay, mainly because I already have this and I've had it for such a long time. I would like to use it up. I guess I could repurpose it for something else, but I think it's kind of cute. You know, it's got 3 spots in it. So here we go. The first one is, it's called an upright rosemary. I love to cook with rosemary, so I'm going to put that one in the, I think I'll put this one on the end. No, I'll put it in the middle, because what's going to happen is I have a lavender and a lemon verbena, and I'm going to pot those also. So this is an Italian oregano, but I'll be using it for Mexican food and Italian food. And then we have the lavender. I'm going to go ahead and put the lavender here. And they said it's going to become very fragrant, but I was thinking maybe this one's going to have to go outside with lemon verbena. Because see, it has little, if you look a little closely, there's like little floral. And I'm thinking, well, it's going to need the bees. Maybe it needs to be pollinated. I'm not really sure. So I'm going to do some more research on that one now that I think about it. And just go ahead and let it be for now. So I'm going to bring over the thyme. And the thyme I want to show you, it's just so pretty. It's like, has on the leaves are kind of like a little tiny white. Can you see them? They're so pretty. It's such a pretty one. So, but because it's so wide, I'm thinking it's because I'm not harvesting it. That's why it's like that. So I'm going to go ahead and take it out of this container and put it in here. And since I will be using it more and trimming it back, it won't need as much space. Okay, it's kind of like a micro gardening type idea that I have. So I'm going to go ahead and take it out of this container. Come on, little plant. Ooh, this one seems a little dry. So I'm going to go ahead and wet this root ball down a little. Okay. And then go ahead and put it in. Okay. That one might be setting a little high. Okay. Okay, now I'll put the dirt around. So what else have you guys been doing? I know a lot of you are doing online with your tablets and stuff like that. Well, for me, now that we do things virtually, we prepare content and then upload it onto, we send it to Stray Dog Theaters. They have an artistic director, and they vet everything to make sure that everything is suitable for you all to watch. And I've been learning so many new things because now we have Zoom meetings and kinds of new stuff that I really didn't know that much about, and so I'm learning about it. I'm just wondering how y'all are doing with all that. I'm sure for some of you it's new, and hopefully you're just adjusting to it, and because we're all adjusting to something right now, and just I'm encouraging you all to just stay with it, you know, and be patient. And if nothing else, when we get back, hopefully we'll all have new skills, and we can add that to our skill set, and have some interesting projects that we can work on together. So I'm really looking forward to that kind of stuff, you know. So I got to see Mr. Evan, and, well, not see, hear Mr. Evan on a conference call, and Miss Gerlagline, and just yesterday. And I got to hear Miss Kara the week before. So it's kind of nice to be able to at least hear voices, familiar voices from work. And so far, we're all okay, seems like, you know. We're okay enough, you know. Nobody's sick that I know of, so it's kind of nice. And I'm just hoping that rings true for you all, too. You know, I know you have family members, and some of you have older family members like me, you know, in our age group, and we have to be so careful. And, well, of course, we all have to be careful, but in some situations, you know, there's more isolation than in others, so I just hope everybody's okay. So that's how this went, guys. I think it's just about ready. Next time, I think I will have clipped these off and hopefully cooked something with them, with these herbs here, the rosemary, the thyme, and the oregano. And I'm really excited to be able to do this. Okay, so there we go. Here are the herbs that we had talked about before. Okay, so let me move this aside. Okay, here we go. Okay, now, the other thing we had talked about before, and it's kind of interesting what happened with this idea. So here's the bunny, the cup and the bunny, and then I also started a basil in this cup, okay? So the experiment with remember we had a tin and I put it in this mug to upcycle it, and it's doing okay, but I'm hoping it does better this week because I had to cut back one of the shoots because it was a little bit too long, and so we'll see how it progresses. Okay. Now this basil in this cup, I am going to remove it from there, and I have a smaller pot, and I'm going to go ahead and put the basil in this smaller pot. I do have a larger, I don't know if you've seen the basil at the stores, but they can grow quite tall, maybe about, you know, I don't know, 1.5 feet, seems like. I've seen them in the store. They grow, but for my purposes, I'm going to be cutting it back quite a bit since I only cook for myself most of the time. So I'm not trying to put it in a larger pot and have it grow too large or too tall. Although I might change my mind in a couple of weeks and repot it, because I do have a larger pot, the same size as the caladium pot, the one that I potted the caladium in. So we'll see. But for now, I'm going to go ahead and repot the basil. And the basil is very fragrant, you know. It has a really strong, fragrant smell to it. So, let me go. And then I don't know if you noticed or not, but the rosemary and the oregano and the basil, it was just in well, I'll just go ahead and show it to you because it's just, handier to show it to you now. But you notice how it's wrapped? There's like, looks like a cardboardish type, but it's very thin. And it's wrapped around the root ball. And that's how they sell it. And then all you have to do is just drop it in the pot like I just did. And that's how that comes. Of course, they all come with an instruction. But of all of them, this is the one that's the most fragrant. Already, you know. My understanding is that that's not bad because the fragrance of it keeps pests away. Although I don't have any here inside, but I'm just glad to know that. In case I end up taking them outside to get some fresh air. So there you go. So there we go. Hopefully, here's the basil. Hopefully you enjoyed watching this with me and spending some time with me. Hope to see you again, and you know, leave a comment. I'm sounding like a YouTube channel, huh? Leave a thumbs up, leave a comment, leave a like, and subscribe, you know. But anyway, you guys take care and have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Blessings. Bye.